So OpenAI just dropped something that's got everyone talking. A new tool that promises to let anyone, and I mean anyone, build powerful AI agents without having to write a single line of code. Today, we're going to dig into their new Agent Builder and see if this is really the future of AI or if there's a bit more to the story.
You know, the holy grail of software has always been this idea, this dream of letting people create powerful stuff just by describing what they want. No code needed. And that whole no-code movement? Well, it's driving a massive new wave of AI tools right now. And this is OpenAI's big answer. They unveiled it at their Dev Day 2025, and it's the centerpiece of their new Agent Kit suite. It's this slick, visual canvas where you can literally drag and drop little blocks, connect them together, and build these complex AI workflows. And the promise? You can do it all without ever touching code. Or, so they say.
Okay, so let's start with the pitch. What exactly is OpenAI telling the world this tool can do? What's the big promise here?
I mean, this quote from their own demo says it all. The promise is just so appealing, right? You connect these blocks, called nodes, on a screen, and poof, you have a working AI agent. The goal here is clearly to open up the world of AI creation to everyone. Product managers, designers, entrepreneurs, not just the hardcore developers.
All right, so how does this thing actually work under the hood? Let's break down the simple travel agent they showed off in their demo to really see the logic in action.
Okay, so it all kicks off when a user asks a question, right? What should I do in Tokyo? Now, the first thing the system does isn't to answer, but to understand. A little classifier agent figures out, hey, this person wants an itinerary, not flight info. From there, a simple if-else node acts like a traffic cop, sending the request down the right path to a specialized agent. And that agent is the one that actually does the heavy lifting and builds the plan. It's a really simple but super powerful flow.
So what are the actual building blocks you get to play with? Well, everything is built from these little components called nodes. Think of them as the Lego bricks for building just about any AI workflow you can dream up.
First up, and this is the most important one, you've got the agent node. This is the brain of the whole operation. This is where you write the instructions. You give it a personality. You tell it what its goal is. You also pick which AI model it uses, maybe the latest GPT-5, and you give it superpowers, like the ability to search the web or dig through your files.
Next is the guardrail node, and you can think of this as the safety net. And honestly, this is a huge deal for building AI responsibly. With just a few clicks, you can block harmful content, stop people from trying to jailbreak your agent, and get this, you can even have it fact-check its own answers against a trusted source of information to stop it from just making stuff up.
And here's where the magic really happens. This is how your agent actually does things in the real world, the MCP node. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, which is just a fancy name for a standard way OpenAI created for AIs to talk to other apps. Think of it like a universal translator that lets your agent send a Slack message, write up a draft in Gmail, or connect to basically any service out there.
And of course, you've got your other essential tools in the toolbox. You've got your standard if-else nodes for making decisions and while loops for repeating actions. But there's a really cool one called user approval, which actually pauses the whole workflow and asks a real human to say, yep, this is okay. Perfect for sensitive tasks. And Widgets lets you create cool, interactive outputs, so you're not just stuck with plain old text.
Okay, now this is where things get really, really interesting, because there seems to be a gap opening up between that simple, shiny, no-code promise and what people are actually experiencing when they use the tool.
So the pitch is no code for everyone, right? Easy, visual, fast. But the reality, according to early users and analysts, is a little more complicated. It turns out that to do anything really complex, you suddenly need to know some developer-style syntax. And worse, to actually put your finished agent into a website or an app, you need to use something called an SDK, a software development kit, which is 100% a tool for coders. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from the YouTuber Corbin, who did a fantastic deep dive tutorial, just nails it. He points out that even though it looks like a simple drag and drop tool, you pretty quickly hit a point where you need to write some code-like stuff to make it work. And it's not just him. An analysis from Vellum AI basically says the exact same thing. You can build this whole beautiful workflow visually, but the second you want to actually use it in your product, you hit a wall. That last step requires using the SDK, and that's the moment where a non-technical person has to throw their hands up and call a developer. Now, it's super important to remember that this whole thing is still in beta. Just like the early days of custom GPTs, people are running into weird bugs and unexpected errors that aren't really their fault. It's just the platform working through its growing pains. So yeah, it's a powerful tool, but it's not quite that polished, works for everyone experience. At least not yet.
So let's zoom out for a second. Where does Agent Builder actually fit into the bigger picture? Because while OpenAI definitely has the spotlight, they're jumping into a field that is already packed with some seriously powerful competition.
Right now, it feels like Agent Builder has a bit of a split personality. For developers, it's awesome. It's a fantastic way to quickly mock up an agent's logic and then export the code to really customize it. But for non-developers, it's a great sandbox for building basic things, but they're almost certainly going to need technical help to get it across the finish line.
Look, when a giant like OpenAI jumps into a space like this, it's a massive validation for the whole market. It basically screams to the world, this no-code AI approach is the future. But let's be clear, they aren't the first ones here. They're joining a pretty mature market that's already filled with some amazing platforms.
You've got these incredibly powerful technical platforms like Vellum and N8N. You've got automation giants like Zapier adding AI into everything. And then you have this whole swarm of hungry startups like Lindy AI and Gumloop, all carving out their own niche. It is a very crowded field, and OpenAI has a real fight ahead of them.
And this all leaves us with a final, really fascinating question to think about. Tools like Agent Builder are all about letting us design logic, right? We're dragging and dropping boxes, connecting arrows, building a workflow. But as the AI models themselves get smarter, like a lot smarter, will we even need to do that? Are we slowly moving toward a future where we stop building the logic and we just state our goal, express our intent, and let the AI figure out all the steps all by itself? Now that would be the real game changer.